A video on TikTok that was a reaction to black people saying this is not our fight when this whole ICE thing came around, and it wasn't all of them, it was just like a small portion. And so I made this video saying this is a reaction to what they're talking about, and then I gave my little spiel, and a lot of people got really angry at me. They were telling me that I was racist. They were saying that I needed to apologize to the black community. They were saying that what I was saying wasn't true, that they weren't deporting black people, but they were. I never said black Americans. People got that confused. Anyways, I never cleared it up because I'm like, are you guys not reading what I'm reading? And now, this week, it's been announced that now black Americans are being taken by ICE. And it's like, this is what I was saying all along. I was saying, like, they're going to start with the Latino community. They're eventually going to move to the other minorities. They were already taking Asian people. They were already taking other black people. Like, it was only a matter of time until they started taking black Americans.
Black Americans and Latinos, I've been saying for months that we need to come together and unite for something greater to come. And I wasn't speaking on the ICE protest. I was speaking on what is now currently happening. A perfect example is the apartment complex that was raided on October 1st in Chicago. That apartment complex is predominantly black Americans. And ICE didn't just raid the apartments where they believed that in Nicaragua, the Venezuelan gang people lived. They raided every single apartment. And what makes things worse is that people were being dragged out of their homes, regardless how they were dressed, including naked. And they didn't just limit this to adults. This was children too. Side note, apartments were being raided even if there was no warrants for anybody living in that apartment. But here's where things get worse. A video is currently circulating the internet where it shows that a black American is being detained by ICE, and one of the black Americans that's watching the whole thing is yelling, "You're supposed to be doing this to Mexicans, not us." But listen for yourself. Let's listen one more time, but in slow motion. The amount of arrogance to believe that this is just supposed to be a Mexican thing. And also, I think you mean Latinos because not everybody's a Mexican. But to continue, a lot of people have come onto TikTok making videos joking about if black Americans are being detained, where are they going to get sent to? And that shows me that you guys are not aware of what's currently happening. Do you know that there's agencies that make money off the prison system? For every prisoner and every day that prisoner spent there, there's agencies out there that make money. And this year, ICE began making money for every detainee that they hold per day. A lot of these Latinos that are being arrested and held in detention centers are not being deported. They're being held and have been in those detention centers for months. Some even have stated a year, if not longer. This was never about deportations. This has always been about money. And history has proven time and time again, when black Americans come together with Latinos, we get things done. So why is 2025 any different?
I'm not surprised that ICE is detaining black people in Chicago. This has always been a movement against minorities, not only against us Latinos. And it's white supremacy coming into fruition. We know that this is a mass attack on everyone that is not white. So I'm not surprised at all. And this is why, the young lords and the Black Panthers marched back in the 60s and the 70s, because we knew that our causes were one and the same. And we knew we need to do the same thing. Black people and brown people and Latinos, we need to unite. We need to understand that this is a full frontal attack on all minorities. It's going to get really bad. And you have the governor of Chicago and everyone saying, hey, make sure that you take pictures of these people when they're doing these illegal arrests, that you're documenting everything, because this is like full-on Third Reich shit. It's getting really bad, bro. We need to win the midterms next year. If we don't do that, this dude is like a maniac. Trump is like full-on crazy at this point. And all their MAGA nut jobs are supporting him, and it's one of the saddest things in the planet. But yeah, black people, be aware of it. We need to work together because this is not looking good.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. The recent ICE raid sent shockwaves through communities across the country, not because of the arrest, but because of where the operation took place. This time, the target was not a predominantly Latino area. It was a black neighborhood. Officers swept through an apartment where black families have lived for years, kicking down doors and detaining people based on suspicion and appearance. Several black Americans were detained in the chaos. That moment made one thing clear. If a system is allowed to target immigrants today, it will target citizens tomorrow without hesitation. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. Let's watch a few more clips and I'll be back with more commentary.
I want to talk about these people really excited when they're like, oh, ethnic Black Americans are now getting detained too. Like they've been waiting, like this, like it was the new release for the Jordans, like the new iPhone was coming out. Like they were just waiting for this day to have, oh, you guys are getting in trouble too. Like, look, you know, and it's really pathetic because number one, no, we're not getting deported. We can't get deported. Sorry, that's your fantasy. That's your sick fantasy, but it's not happening. Number two, it was one woman who was detained for a couple hours, unfortunately, because she happened to live in a Hispanic building. She happened to live in a Hispanic building. And so apparently the building was overrun with Hispanic gangbangers. And so they just wanted to make sure that she also wasn't gangbanging with them. And that's what happened. And they let her go. They didn't let the other people go. Those people are on their way to being deported. So I'm sorry to ruin your sick fantasy. Also, too, when you're like, see, you guys, you know, they're doing it to you, too. We're not, you know what, just so you know, we're not fighting for you anymore. We're not fighting for you anymore. I don't care. We don't care if 1,000 of us are rounded up. If 1,000 of us are rounded up, we're going to fight for ourselves. We're not going to fight for you anymore. We're not going to. And this is just somebody else, another creator said this. If you thought that ethnic Black Americans were getting detained or deported, I didn't see one of you guys say, we're going to go out there and help our brothers and sisters. They're getting detained now, too. What I saw was tethering. What I saw was disgusting. What I saw was people excited and gleeful, like, oh, look, now it's your turn. We told you so. Like, you're getting detained now. I didn't see anybody saying, let's go help them. Let's go support our brothers and sisters. Like you never do. You never help. You never wanted to help. We've always been the person helping, and now we're not helping you. You don't know what to do. You can't protect yourself. You can't do anything. Okay? We've been detained for centuries. We were detained on the way to this dang on country when we were building up the country. We were detained when we were crossing, when we were indigenous people, and we were crossing from, Florida to Oklahoma, being shipped off on the Trail of Tears. We've been detained since the landing of the Europeans in this country. We've been detained. Being detained is something that we are very familiar with. Okay. So no, it's not anything new. It's not karma. It's not, oh my God, look what you guys are going through. It's none of that. It's none of that. So while you're trying to feverishly and, gleefully try to hope that somehow we're going to get detained, we've been detained for a long time, but what we're not going to get is deported.
The raids exposed the lie that enforcement is only aimed at undocumented migrants. Families in the neighborhood watched in disbelief as neighbors, relatives, and even long-time residents with citizenship were handcuffed or interrogated. For many in the Black community, this was not a new experience. Police raids, surveillance, and wrongful arrests have long been a part of their history. But to see ICE using the same aggressive tactics in their neighborhoods reignited anger and a demand for accountability. Among Latinos, especially those who once believed they could avoid the consequences of federal crackdowns, the tone has shifted dramatically. There is growing acknowledgement that this system does not distinguish between undocumented status, nationality, or citizenship when fear and profiling drive the agenda. Some in the Latino community are now openly calling for solidarity with Black Americans, recognizing that both groups are being left vulnerable under policies that treat them as disposable. For years, some Latinos kept their distance from Black struggles, hoping that focusing solely on immigration issues will protect them. Others believed aligning with conservative rhetoric or staying politically silent will create a buffer. But the reality of ICE stopping a Black neighborhood shattered those illusions. This was not just an immigration raid. This was a show of how state power can be used against any marginalized group once the precedent is set. Black Americans reacted with a mix of outrage, exhaustion, and grim familiarity. Many have been warning that government overreach does not remain confined to one community. The same agencies that built detention centers for migrants have long filled prisons with Black citizens. The same profiling used in traffic stops has now extended into immigration sweeps, and the same justification of public safety has been used for decades to rationalize tearing apart Black families. What stood out in this particular incident is the sudden urgency among some Latinos to seek unity. community. Community organizers, local activists, and families affected by the raids are beginning to push for a shared front with Black Americans. They are recognizing that the fight against deportations cannot be separated from the fight against mass incarceration, over-policing, and systemic criminalization. However, the call for unity does not erase the past. Some Black Americans remember the times when their grievances were minimized or ignored by other communities. They recall moments when Latino voters supported politicians whose platforms harmed Black people, believing those harms will not reach them. There have been times when anti-Blackness within Latino spaces made alliance difficult. So now, a solidarity is being requested. There is understandable skepticism. Still, there is also a pragmatic understanding. Division only benefits those enforcing these policies. ICE and law enforcement agencies do not care about community boundaries. When they storm a neighborhood, they detain first and ask questions later. Families are left traumatized, children are separated, and the legal battle becomes a financial and emotional burden. The arrest of Black Americans during the raids shows that citizenship does not guarantee safety when a system is given power without restraint. Some Latino organizers are beginning to address those tensions directly. They are urging their communities to confront anti-Blackness attitudes and to recognize that their struggles are not separate. They are pointing out that many Black immigrants from the Caribbean and Africa have been targeted by ICE long before it became a mainstream issue. Now that enforcement is expanding into Black neighborhoods, the evidence is undeniable. No one is exempt. Black Americans are also assessing what this moment means. They understand the long history of being over-policed, misidentified, and criminalized. Seeing ICE operate in their neighborhoods is not surprising, but it is a reminder that the tactics used on migrants are part of a broader strategy of control. Wrongful arrests, profiling, and raids are not accidental. They are extensions of policies designed to intimidate and isolate communities. This shared reality is forcing a deeper conversation. Some Black residents are voicing concern, not only for the people taken away, but for what this represents moving forward. If ICE can operate freely in their neighborhoods, then any agency with similar power can do the same. It also raises the question of who will be next if marginalized groups continue to fight their battles separately. The path towards solidarity is not automatic. It will take accountability, mutual respect, and a willingness to address past harm. But the urgency is real. Latinos calling for unity now understand that survival depends on collective resistance, and Black Americans, while cautious, recognize that this moment will either spark a new alliance or become another example of selective outreach. The outcome will depend on whether both communities are willing to build something rooted in shared struggle rather than convenience. What happened in that neighborhood was more than an immigration raid. It was a warning and a turning point, and whether this becomes the beginning of a stronger coalition or another missed opportunity will shape what comes next.
So for some of the Black Americans that thought that ICE had nothing to do with them, ICE's mission has always been to remove anybody that is not white from this country.
So what do you all think? Will this finally be the moment when Black and Latino communities stand together against the same system that targets them both? And is it the turning point when both groups realize they've always been fighting the same fight? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, the Joy Report out.